Hi, I'm Hattie. I am a singer, producer, artist, songwriter type, musician-y type person, and I live here in the Northeast. With the tagline is majestic indie alt pop, so it's kind of like songs with a bit of electro in there. There's more on the indie side, a little bit of folk in there as well, but with splashes of electro and that kind of thing. So that's yeah, that's me as an artist, but I write in lots of different genres. So I write however the projects come to me, but I mostly write with women, for women, women artists, and it's kind of mostly on the pop side, so alt pop, country pop, folk pop, J-pop, K-pop, any kind of pop on the commercial side. That's sort of what I write, yeah. I think I know when I want to say something for myself, that it's going to be for me. So it's usually lyrically like much more of a personal topic, or it's come from my experience, or just something that writing is like therapy. So it's often something that's playing on my mind and I just need to get it out. So that's when I usually know it's for me. And for other people, it's a lot of the time when I'm writing in different songwriting groups, we just write and we see often what comes out. So we're writing for writing's sake. We might be writing to a brief as well, that's another thing. So we write and then we pitch that out. Or I write a lot with the artist in the room, so I often ask that they come to me with the starting points really, and we go from there and we sort of just see what happens. I know that if I want to write a song in a certain way, I'm like, oh, I'll hook up with that songwriter or this songwriter. And it's just the way that works. It's really nice as the years have gone on to get this sort of network of collaborators, and each one brings something different to the table. I listen to a lot of new stuff. Growing up, I listened to a lot of pop stuff. I listened to what my sisters were playing, what my brother was playing. I'm from Lincolnshire originally, rural Lincolnshire. So I didn't have a huge choice except for what was at Woolworths at the time that I could buy on tape. I had a friend at uni who, her boyfriend at the time, now husband, worked at HMV, and they would get like all the singer-songwriter CDs, and she'd be like, have you heard this girl? Have you heard this girl? So it was random singer-songwriters like Shelby Lynn and Martina Sabara, and Narina Palo was one actually that came out from that CD haul that we used to swap all around. I was really lucky that I did a year abroad with my degree, so I was just outside of Chicago, so I was in Illinois, and studying music, and found out halfway through the year that my degree my marks that year didn't count towards my final degree, so I sacked it off and went on tour with a hip-hop band. So I was one of very few like female breakdancers. I was rubbish, but I competed when we were back here, when I came back to uni with Bad Taste Crew when they set up UK breakdancing championships. But again, I was probably like one of 3 girls who competed, so I could be rubbish and still get quite far. Yeah, I've always just been, I love acoustic music, I love singer-songwriter stuff, I love proper songs, but I also love sampling, and I love electro, and I love beats, and so I've always just tried to add little flavours in here and there with everything I do. My earliest memories are kind of sat trying to figure out Red Hot Chili Peppers licks on a nylon string guitar. Like, that's pretty much, yeah, and trying to sing along at the same time. I think it was always going to be a natural progression because I play lots of instruments, and so when I started working on my own material with another producer, I could hear what I wanted, and he amazingly could go from me going, oh, I want it to sound a bit like this, and to turn it into a thing. And I was there in the studio when he was doing it, so I watched and I just absorbed it like a sponge. I did a project once where I made everything from found sounds, but the found sounds I found were on a CD of rare animals sounds. So these rare animals and endangered animals across the UK, and I had a CD of like a bat squeaking and this, that. And I remember putting it into, I think I was using Fruity Loops at the time, and making a track, like a trip hop track with like the wings of this and the squeak of this. Even though it was crap, but like I was always playing and going from that sort of sampling background that I understood about with hip hop, and putting that there and hearing things in different ways. Still an artist, but I branched off into really focusing on songwriting for other people. So it was at that point really that I was like, right, it's really expensive to pay someone else, I'm going to do it. When you first start collaborating from a purely songwriting point of view, it is weird. It's like, I've never met you, but let's have like a therapy session. So you're just talking about the most, personal things, and it's really bizarre because, as I say, a lot of time you'll go into sessions where you don't know the other songwriters. So this would happen a lot when I used to write down in London. For sessions, I would turn up to whatever postcode at someone's house. There'd be 2 other songwriters there I didn't know, and they're like, right, let's write a song. So what do you think about death? No, it wouldn't be like that, but it was like, suddenly you have to throw everything on the table, because if you're guarded, then you can't have an honest lyric, or you can't really get honesty, or you can't get flow in your session. So I love that about collaborating, is that you suddenly become best mates over about 2 or 3 hours, because it is really, really intense. So I do a lot of country music at the moment, which I adore. Written with a girl in Nashville quite a bit over Zoom, and I've just about finished an EP for an Americana blues kind of singer girl. She's great, she's really, really good. So do a lot of the country, and then when I'm writing for DJs and things like that, it's what we call top lining. So that's sometimes when somebody sends you a track, and you, as a top liner, you do the melody and lyrics and sing it, or you write a top line for another singer. And so I was really lucky, like last year I got a trance track out with Hard Trance Europe with the label. I did a pop punk track with a local band called Castro, which is kind of a Paramore sort of like feel to it, which I love, doing that kind of, the singing on that. It's just a different style for me to do. I've just done a UK garage top line, like literally finished that yesterday. So it's that you're working in different places, which it just takes you in a different direction. So I've been on the scene for 10 years as an artist, and with a little break in between. And so it's very different from then, but it's always been eclectic. Like when you think about sort of a Sheffield music scene or a Manchester music scene, especially in the indie side, they have a sound. And I think the thing in the Northeast is we cover a huge area. So we, it's Darlington, Hartlepool, Teesside, Middlesbrough, Sunderland, Durham, right the way up to sort of really up to the borders, and Carlisle and Cumbria and things like that. And that is a huge amount of people coming together in the Northeast. And we get grouped as the Northeast rather than a Newcastle scene, or unlike, you don't get, it's the Yorkshire scene, like it's the Sheffield scene or whatever. So I think lockdown really helped, because people realised they could work remotely. But people come up and they go, oh, I see why you're here actually, like with the quality of lifestyle and affording somewhere to live and having space. And for me, that's me. I'm a country girl anyway, so a smaller city works better for me. Did a session at one point where I was working. There was a Grammy-nominated producer. He was in Canada. The artist was in Denmark. My co-writer was in Mexico. I was in Gateshead at the time, so I was probably the worst spot. But that was amazing. And then people are like, oh, but you live in the Northeast? Oh, do you know what? I might come up and visit you. And you're like, yes. I'll be very honest, I don't have one. I don't have a career ambition, because my ambition was always to have a career in music. So the only thing that I wish for is that I maintain being a professional musician. That's all I care about, and have a lovely quality of life. Obviously go for it, but really look into it, because I think sometimes you have an idea of what a music career is, and you might branch off, and it's kind of allowing yourself the freedom to try out different things. So you might be a great singer, but instead of thinking, I want to be singing all the time, maybe that's not actually where you end up. So it's having this open kind of idea of letting a career kind of the path sort of let it find its way and be patient with it. So my advice would be absolutely look into it, you know, talk to a lot of people. I think once you start talking about a career in music, then you can find out it's not such a, whoa, music industry thing. You can find out a little bit more of your path and just be patient.